David, Todd, congratulations. Your work has advanced you into this final round of competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic blade from history. That weapon is the Cavalry Saber. The Cavalry Saber emerged in Europe around the 18th century. With new developments in battlefield tactics, cavalry soldiers didn't have time for fancy swordplay or thrusts. The Cavalry Saber allowed mounted soldiers to attack with a deadly overhand slash. It wasn't just the curve of the weapon that made it a dangerous chopper. The tip of the blade was thicker than the hilt, adding more power to the swing. The sword has become one of the more iconic weapons of its time and was used by Captain Jack Aubrey in the film Master and Commander. Though lethal enough to cut off an arm with a single swing, the advent of gunpowder saw the Cavalry Saber relegated to ceremonial purposes. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 5 days.
Yeah, let's do this.
I'm back at my forge, happy to be home. My design will actually be off of an original. The blade will have a fair amount of curvature. It'll be beautiful and functional. I used coal my whole life. That's how I started out. Everybody complains about coal. Oh, it's hard. Oh, I can't keep the fire hot. They just don't know what they're doing. Now here's where you gotta watch. You don't want to overheat. Whoop, your metal. I make my blades the old way. I forge them by hand. I use all hand tools. It takes me a little bit longer, but it shows in the finished product. It's not really cheap. It's learning how to do things, and I'm the kind of guy that wouldn't pay a penny to see a pissant eat a bale of hay on Sunday. So I can fabricate just about anything. I can do custom cars, bikes, rehab houses. So they want a sword, they're gonna get a sword.
And away we go. We're here, Oklahoma City, in my home shop. Behold the mess. My shop is just very bare bones. I've got hammers, fire, and a grinder. No turning back now. My experience with swords is mostly fantasy blades, like katanas, a pirate cutlass, that sort of thing. So I've never tried to forge a blade that large, and never all in one forging session. This is where that power hammer would come in real handy. Every heat, it's inducing a little curve or a little twist. It's just such a long blade. I correct one little warp or one little bend. There's another one beside it that gets a little worse. So I'm heating, I'm hammering. I'm heating, I'm hammering, and hammering, and hammering. This thing is a monster of a blade.
Day 2, and I'm feeling good. I really want to make this blade superb, so I pound the edge in. Takes me a little bit longer, but it's worth the time. See that edge on that? I'm basically right down to sharp. Best case scenario is tomorrow, I get this blade quenched and start on the guard and the handles and see what I got. Uh-oh, and I see the burnout. That thing with coal is you cannot see the collar, and you're trying to guess what the heat is, and just a half a crank could burn it up. The blade is junk. I'm kind of PO'd. I just spent almost 2 days making this blade. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I'm gonna start another blade.
Finally, I'm done with all the rough forging. About ready to heat treat. This sword is a beast, it really is. If this quench goes poorly and I have to start over, it really could jeopardize my ability to turn in a finished blade. Hold on to your butts. Maybe it's hard like trigonometry. Look at it, spring. Go ahead and take some of these warps out with a torch and move on to grinding. Every bladesmith knows this sound. It's the dreaded ping of death. And I really don't like that sound. I forgot that when you dip it in water, built a bunch of stress. Son of a bitch, caused it to crack. Can't even explain how disappointed I am right now. Half the time is gone, and I gotta start over completely.
Yesterday, I made another blade. So I'm gonna really move on this thing. I got less than 2 days to make this handle great. The handle's gonna be made out of burled walnut. It'll be filed in a spiral, so your fingers feel really comfortable. I'm using my secret magic potion. Makes it look 200 years old. Fine details really show up in the end, so it's tedious, it takes a lot of time, but I think my skills show that I'm ready for any challenge. Yep, she's sharp. Just keep on going.
Last day, and I'm quenching a new blade. If I don't get this right the first time, I won't have enough time to finish it. Well, no tings. Slap a handle on it, call it good. I have no idea how I'm gonna finish this handle. I think I'm just gonna go as fast as I can, but this D-guard is completely new to me. I'm just gonna have to make it up as I go along. Worst case scenario, I just make something ugly. Seriously, no bueno here. No, damn it, be a handle. Not a piece of art, but it's an instrument of destruction.
The cavalry saber was a weapon that dominated the battlefields of Europe for almost 200 years. So to test the sharpness of your blades, I'm gonna take 3 cuts against our bag here. Now, Dave, you're up first. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Went about 3/4 of the way through. The curvature of your weapon, and the fact that it is as sharp as it is, really did a nice job on that. Interesting shaped guard, but to quote a friend of mine, this will cut. All right, Todd, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
All right, Todd, right off the bat, got a bit of a loose handle right there. You can see that it cut the bag nicely. It is sharp, and it will cut. So well done on that.
Bladesmiths, to see what kind of lethal damage your saber can do, I will take your sword and deliver multiple strikes on the ballistic stubby. Dave, you're up first. Are you ready?
Let's kill that dummy.
Let's do it. Dave, your blade is razor sharp. On the initial slash, you can see how much it lacerated through. Second one made it all the way into the bone. And even on the thrust, with the way your blade is angled, you can lacerate and gut everything that's in there. This, sir, will kill. Good job.
Awesome, thank you.
Todd, you're up next. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do this. Okay, Todd, on the horizontal slash with the movement, it dug in nicely. You've got a good configuration with your blade here. This weapon will kill.
Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, to test the edge of your blade, we're gonna take your swords, clamp them in a vise, and fire a bullet at them.
Awesome.
Dave, you're up.
Tear it up.
All right, guys. 3, 2, 1, fire.
Yep, split it.
I'm just super relieved when I see those 3 holes appear in the backdrop.
Dave, you can actually see the 2 points where the hollow point bullet hit this blade. Other than that small deflection right there, blade's held up nicely. Sweet. All right, Todd, are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right, gentlemen. In 3, 2, 1, fire. Oh, yeah, that's split. So that bullet split nicely on your sword. There's a little bit of edge deflection, but very little. Still straight, hardly affected the edge at all. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you've both done fantastic work. However, in this arena of competition, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Dave, congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Todd, please surrender your weapon.
I'm very proud of what I've done. To make a blade, it doesn't matter whether you've made 100 or 1. Things can happen at any time, just like life. I'm just gonna move on, you know, and do better and continue to make what I make and do what I do.
Dave, congratulations. You are the new Forged in Fire champion and will receive a check for $10,000. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in total shock over this. I don't think any of this is going to sink in until my feet touch down in Oklahoma again. I'm a hobbyist against a bunch of full-time bladesmiths. I'm going to be talking forever about this. I'm very happy and excited.
Tobin, Ron, good job. You made it through to the final.
Thank you.
You are both one challenge away from the title of Forged in Fire champion and a check for $10,000.
My name is Ron Mazel. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. To me, bladesmith is an art form. People see me as a big, giant, 280-pound guy that's a little bit intimidating.
Tobin, how do you feel?
A little nauseous right now, but I'm ready.
My name is Tobin Nieto. With every blade I make, there's a little bit of myself. Definitely ugly and dirty and raggedy enough to be used, and they end up looking like me.
In the final challenge, you'll be forging an iconic weapon from history. A cutlass.
Army hearties, we get to make a cutlass. I'm very excited about it.
The cutlass is a short, broad-bladed saber developed in Europe during the 16th century. Although it was made as a land weapon, it was quickly adopted as the sailor's weapon of choice, largely because it was strong enough to hack through ropes, canvas, and wood, but also because it was short enough to use in close-quarters combat. This made it popular amongst navies throughout the world. The last use of the cutlass in a boarding action by the British Royal Navy was recorded as late as 1941. Its effectiveness in battle also made the cutlass favored amongst pirates as portrayed in the film franchise, The Pirates of the Caribbean. Good luck, gentlemen.
The design plan for my weapon is to keep it simple, clean, balanced. The first step is getting the whole material down to the right size that I want, onto about an inch. Now I'm just gonna concentrate on finishing the handle. I want then to split it into two, almost like a snake tongue. I gotta start my heat treating process.
Okay, here we go.
Moment of truth, I'm about to pull this blade out this oil and see what we have.
I think we good.
Once I start grinding the blade, it's looking good, it's coming out. I think it will pass any kind of trash they want to put it to. I'm in a $10,000 zombie killer. It feels really good. I mean, like you will chop anything in half.
What I'm looking at doing is a blacksmith-style hilt with a kind of mangy, used cutlass style. I got my blade ground down. I got the weight at a point where I like it. So I'm gonna be forging a handguard for this particular cutlass. What I'm doing is a repaired blacksmith type handle that would have been done in the New World during Spanish colonialism.
Looks very tough and raw.
Any enterprising pirate is gonna want a better grip. That's where the hemp comes into play. My number one priority going into this challenge was to make the blade battle ready. I know it's not aesthetically pretty, but it is gonna be a queen of destruction. Oh yeah. It will kill.
Gentlemen, the cutlass was a weapon that was specifically designed for naval combat, but was just as effective on land. Now, any pirate that went raiding would probably run into a situation where he needed to work his way through a barricade. So to test the strength of your weapons, we're gonna break our way through these crates. Tobin, you're up.
Let's do this.
When I saw the crates, the only thing I could think of was those poor crates.
Well, Tobin, it's got a lot of weight to it. It's quite a heavy beast. I like the blacksmith guard, nice, but it's so long that your hand has a lot of room to travel in here. A bit of deformation and a couple of chips in the blade.
Okay.
But Tobin, this will definitely break through a barricade. Good job.
Thanks.
Ron, you're up next.
Let's do it. Going to the weapons test, it's nerve-wracking, but I'm hoping everything works out. It should have the weight on it to do the chopping.
So Ron, though your handle is very crude, it was actually pretty comfortable. Your blade shows no chipping, no damage. It's a little on the heavy side, but it didn't feel like it was pulling me forward. I was able to control the tip. But all in all, went through some crates.
To test the sharpness of your weapon, I will take your weapon and cut through fish and then rope. Tobin, you're up.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Well, Tobin, it's sharp enough to cut through the fish. It lacerated through the rope, but it didn't cut all the way through.
I hear the chunk of the blade go whoosh, right through the fish, and then I hear it hit the ground. Plow. Why did it not cut the rope? It's a bit of disbelief about that.
Ron, you're up next.
Go for it.
Well, Ron, definitely lacerated the fish, but it didn't slice all the way through. Your edge really isn't that sharp to cut all the way through.
Ron's blade doesn't go through the fish, but it cuts the rope. Huh.
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. I will take your cutlass and deliver offensive strikes to this ballistic dummy. Then we can see how much damage your cutlass will deliver. Tobin, you're up. That cut right through the chest, a laceration into the pectoral muscle right here. Not much on this slash here, but that's all the way through. It will kill.
Yeah.
Ron, you're up next. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ron, there are no visible marks. Unfortunately, your blade will not kill.
I'm completely shocked there's no damage on the dummy. I'm shocked.
Tobin, Ron, you've both done commendable work. But it's time for one of you to leave the forge and one of you to be declared the Forged in Fire champion. Tobin, congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Ron, your blade did not make the cut.
Ron, we pushed your blade hard, held its edge through the strength test. But in the end, a cutlass has to be a cut and thrust sword. And in the kill test, it just didn't perform.
Please surrender your weapon. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
I'm not bitter towards Tobin. I'm not bitter towards anybody. I had a great experience. Lesson that I learned today is to keep your blade sharp.
Tobin, congratulations. You are the Forged and Fire champion, and you will be receiving a check for $10,000. How do you feel, man? How do you feel?
There's no words. Like, nothing's coming up. Freaking won! Yeah! I'm in shock a little bit.
I like the overall look of your blade. I like the whole dark factor. I like the sweep to it, and I really like the edge geometry on it.
It's just strange. It's... I never win anything. And the fact that I won this, I need a nap.